HCN Evening News Bulletin with me, Clinton D'Souza, and here are the top stories. One question: will government taxi operators will have digital meters? Will the taxis have digital meters? If yes, then by when? There are new dates and extension periods, but installation of these meters are not yet completed. Recently, the Directorate of Transport in an affidavit filed before the High Court said that the digital fare meters will be installed in all taxis by the 31st of October 2021. Hence, in this story, we spoke with TTAG's former president, Savio Messias, who went to courts to get taxis to install meters. Savio has been in the forefront fighting for fair digital meters in taxis across the state. However, when HCN also tried to get in touch with some of the taxi operators, but each of them from the members of the taxi association to taxi owners refused to speak on this issue. Watch to what Savio has to say.
Well, we had filed a petition in the High Court uh, with against the government for not implementing the decision to uh, install meters. Government, the High Court ordered the government to install the meters, but subsequently they didn't do it for because of various reasons. So on and they did not meet the deadline, and on two occasions we had to file contempt petitions. Now the government has started the process. In fact, from the 1st of July, it is the licenses, the permits of taxis would not be renewed until they install meters. So now the process has started. I'm told around 120 meters were installed till a few days ago, and now the government is going to take action against them.
Okay.
And their permits would be suspended. Now we are quite confident that the implementation of fixing of meters would be completed by October. The government has given them 6 months time because it's not possible to do it in like every day. Since the number is huge, uh, that they expect around 15,000 taxis are registered with the transport department. So the process would take some time.
Okay.
Now at present the most important thing is that installing the meters is okay, but uh, we have to ensure that the taxis use the meters. So and we have to have an enforcement agency in
Hmm.
place.
Hmm.
And until and unless enforcement is not done, the meters might be just one showpiece on the
Correct.
taxis.
Okay. So how strict the government should be when it comes to making sure that these meters are active? It's not, as you said, it shouldn't be a showpiece, but it has to be active.
Yes, the government has to make sure that the taxi meters are, because right now the government is funding the taxi meters.
Hmm.
So if they are funding it, they should ensure that it is implemented,
Hmm.
and in the long run, the meters are going to help the taxi drivers.
Correct.
See, the reason is because the taxi drivers lost a lot of business because the people felt that they were being cheated by the taxi drivers. So gradually, the rent a bike became very popular. But then rent a bike was being used by the younger generation. Then came the rent a car, and now the rent a car has become so popular that the taxis are losing out. If the taxis were economical, I am sure most of the people would have opted for taxis rather than the problem of hiring a car, driving around Goa, and then with the traffic police these days constantly issuing challans, stopping people. It doesn't make life so
Hmm.
doesn't make their holiday memorable. So if taxis were there, it would have been a lot more comfortable. So how we hope that the taxi drivers would realize the importance of fixing meters, and I'm sure that they will also do a lot of business. Second thing is, taxis are not only meant for tourists. This is a misconception. Taxis are also meant for locals.
Yes.
So we are not fighting only for the tourists. We are fighting also. We want the locals to uh, have an option.
Option
Look, it's
alternative.
alternate, yeah. So the locals sometimes want to attend parties, and they don't want to drink and drive. So here the taxis come in handy.
Hmm.
So I think, and nowadays also parking is a challenge. If you want to go to the big cities like Bangalore
Very
and
true.
Margao, parking is a huge challenge unless you have the privilege of having a driver.
Hmm.
So the taxis are going to be the best option.
Correct. So, what do you have to say on this delay? I mean, this kind of an extra time to install these meters. What do you have to say on that? That's my last question.
Look, we have been waiting. The government has missed at least three deadlines in the last few years. So I would not say this is. I mean, now they have been given 6 months, and I think so. That's good enough. 6 months is good enough for taxis to install the meters. Look, we had this problem about number plates, and it the system failed because they had a lot of logistic problems, a lot of other issues. So the meters, we hope that this system, we have to give the taxi drivers time also to install meters. And also we do understand that right now because of the pandemic, they don't have the business. So well, we have waited for so many years for meters. We might as well wait for a few more months.
After Herald offered a helping hand to the family in Taligaon, who has not received financial support from the government, the family thanked Herald and HCN for their support. This family was completely dependent on Grey Aadhaar scheme, wherein they didn't receive any financial support for last 6 months. Here's more. Few days back, ACN had highlighted a story about a family in Taligaon who are complaining against the government for Grihadar policy. Sofia De Mello had said that in spite of applying and complaining for nearly 6 months, she hasn't received any amount from this scheme. Now watch to what she has to say.
तुमकां आतां हेराल्ड सपोर्ट करता कितें मंथली कितें ना कितें दितले म्हणून सो कशें दिसता तुमकां कितें कोण तरी मदतय केला
हय
तुमकां
आमकां म्हयनो म्हयनो हेल्प जाय एक सपोर्ट जाय आमकां क्योंकि कितें आतां वखद म्हारग जालें आतां पयर हांवें सोनोग्राफी काडलें 3,500 पडलें ताका तशें पूण मातशें कितें कमी कोन्न केलें रे विडियो पळयल म्हणून आनी आमकां म्हयनो कितें हेल्प की आमकां कोणाची आदार ना फॅमिलीची आदार ना कोणाची आदार ना अशें एक हेल्प जाय आमकां आनी
तुमकां
कांय ना
आतां हेराल्ड तुमकां कितें मंथली कितें दिवपाक
आमकां हेल्प मातशें कितें हेल्प केलें पुरो म्हयनो कितें आदार दिवपाक आमकां आनी कांय ना तितलेंच
हय
हेराल आमकां हेल्प कर देव बरें कर आमकां सपोर्ट जाय तुमची आनी म्हयनो मंथली कितें दी आमकां वी नीड योर हेल्प हेराल वी आर थँकफूल एंड ग्रेटफूल टू यू फॉर हेल्पिंग अस वी आर वेरी ग्रेटफूल टू यू वी नीड योर हेल्प थँक यू सो मच
The crime branch of the Goa police on Saturday started its probe into suicide of three persons from a family on Tuesday. See, we have handed over the responsibility of the probe by the South Goa District Police for a fair and partial investigation. We have now begun our investigation, said the South Goa SP Pankaj Kumar Singh. Three-person Huglapa Abhyagerat of 35 years and his spouse Devama, 28-year, and his brother Gangapa, 29-year-old, had allegedly committed suicide after returning to the house in Zuarinagar in South Goa district from the Verna police station on Tuesday. The trio had been summoned to the police station in connection with a theft case filed against Devama by the owner of a house, where she was working as a maid. However, a suicide note left behind at the scene of the crime said that they are being harassed. England stormed into the Euro 2020 semi-finals for the first time in 25 years after Harry Kane's brace helped Gareth Southgate's side thrash Ukraine 4-0 on Saturday to book the clash with Denmark. Euros 2020's first semi-finals in the mouth-watering clash between two of the Europe's biggest footballing nations, Italy and Spain. While Italy look in the fearsome from making in 15 wins in a row, Spain appear to have found their scoring touch before the knockouts. Now watch to what one of the Goan fans, football fan, has to say on this Euro 2020 semi-finals.
Hey Clinton, Italy Spain is going to be beyond exciting. Italy unbeaten for ages now. Donnarumma also is yet to concede more than a single goal as long as he's played for Italy. We saw a defensive masterclass this whole tournament from the Italians, but I expect Spain to triumph in possession and the passing stats though. Technically and tactically, Italy have been brilliant. Well, I mean, they were brilliant the other night. Insigne was just brilliant to watch on the ball, you know. Bonucci and Chiellini also have shown that age is just a number. Uh, Everyone except like for them was exceptional. They are the team to beat. In fact, as far as Spain is concerned, they are a very young and inexperienced team. But despite Pedri, for example, despite his young age, has been one of the players of the tournament, and it's a big reason why Spain have been one of the best teams in the tournament. I'm really excited for Spain versus Italy. It's one of the most exciting international football matchups. Two nations with immense footballing culture and history. So let's go.
Well, that's all we have in today's news bulletin. For more updates, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel at HCN Goa or stay alerted on Facebook and Twitter at Herald Goa. Until then, goodbye and take care.